Okay. So I'm recording now. I'm Claire Orme. I have been making the video for Duncan's piece, The Metalization of a Dream, played by Galvanised Ensemble, which has been really exciting over the last few weeks and months. And today I'm talking to Richard Greenan of Kit Records, and we're just going to have a little chat about kind of the inspiration and the process behind the video, and kind of how it's been made.
Hello.
Hi. Hello, how are you?
Hi. I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
Good. We're talking on Zoom as well, so apologies if it sounds a bit
Yes, we are each in our own little rooms.
um yeah, which is kind of fitting for the for what we're talking about as well. Um
Yeah, because that's what the Palotti or Paolotti collage is, isn't it? It's a room.
yeah, so the metalization of a dream is kind of this beautiful collage in a room, really amazing bright colors. There's kind of a weird chair in there as well, these kind of cut out objects kind of filling the room. And I guess that was I mean that's the kind of inspiration for the name of Duncan's piece. And I guess I took that as the main inspiration for the video as well, as kind of the base material.
Hmm. So you've created like a virtual performance space for the players.
Yeah, so I kind of took this idea of this room and I was thinking, wow, like that's actually really fitting for what for kind of how this video has been made. So each performer has been kind of recording it in their own space, in their own room during lockdown. And I thought to kind of create these individual spaces for the performers to perform in virtually. I then wanted to kind of think about ways how they could then kind of all come together as if they were playing in the same space.
Hmm.
And obviously, by the ability of kind of being able to create these virtual spaces, it allowed me to then bring everyone together into kind of this this kind of space where they could even though they can't perform together in reality, they can perform together in
And you talk about color as quite an important part of the collage, obviously. And do you think that you've the the music also speaks of color in a way, and did that translate into the video too? The way that the colors are layered, like chords, perhaps.
yeah, I think absolutely. I think the music itself, because it's so kind of collage, there's lots of different tones and parts happening at the same time. It does kind of create this musical collage. And when you're listening, I think all the different kind of instruments and parts can kind of make you think of different colours. And then that kind of led me on to going back to the Paolozzi collages. I kind of selected different colourways that he'd used and used those kind of within the rooms that I've created.
Mm.
And I think it kind of, yeah, and then kind of leading on to this idea of layering and chords, how the colours were then kind of juxtaposed and brought together in different segments of the video. It is kind of like the colours are kind of imitating what's happening in the music, and I hope that comes across. And he, I listened to his Desert Island Discs as well, which was recorded in like 1990, so quite a while ago. But he speaks really interestingly about how he, when he's working, he doesn't really like to play music. He prefers the
Mm.
silence, and perhaps not silence because you have all the noises of the working itself, and that was kind
Yeah.
of was interesting for him. And he thought that music was more than just kind of background. He felt that it should be enjoyed fully. So kind of when he got home from the studio or from whatever he was doing, that's the point where he
So he
would
took
music.
listening very seriously.
Yeah, and I think you can see that in his art does it's so there's so much gesture in his artwork, even though it's perhaps collage, which sometimes is quite static.
Mm.
There's so much movement, I think, in his work, and for me, that has a lot of relationship to music as well. So you can kind of see
Yeah.
that he has been inspired by music, I think. in a way.
Yeah, he's like a conductor arranging things.
So also going back,
So what did he choose
going back to Desert Island,
on his desert island?
it's a really good one. You should all listen to it if you have a chance. So his favourite track on Desert Island Discs was Ravel's opera The Child and the Spells. And I hadn't listened to this before, but I did after hearing that it was his favourite track, trying to get into his brain a little bit. And the kind of synopsis of the opera, the beginning part, I won't give away the whole story in case I don't want to do any spoilers, but it's about a child who kind of doesn't want to do his work, doesn't want to do his lessons. All he wants to do are the things that he basically shouldn't be doing. So I guess a classic naughty child. And when his mother sees him doing all these kind of things he's not meant to be doing, she punishes him by leaving him alone in his room for the whole of the afternoon. And this for me also had quite a lot of correlation to lockdown and isolation and how
Yeah.
perhaps a lot of people have been feeling this year. So that was really interesting kind of to begin with. And so when she leaves him in the room by himself, the child loses control and starts destroying everything around him. And he gets kind of carried away by this anger, and he kind of sinks into this nightmarish fantasy in which all the objects and animals in his room take on human characteristics. And I think that kind of inspired me for the middle section of the video. So this is the part where each performer has been in their kind of personal room, and then they all kind of get entwined into this shared space, and it's kind of this weird nightmarish spiral where everything's kind of going a bit like weird and wonky. And it also made me this idea of the opera and creating kind of a stage set for this story, and it got me thinking that actually kind of what I was doing in the video was creating this kind of stage set for the performers to kind of virtually perform in. And then that was quite an interesting way for me to work out what I was doing. It was kind of quite different to how I've perhaps approached doing videos before. I then kind of took it, I was creating this kind of space for performers to perform in, rather than creating a video to go alongside a piece of music.
Yeah, so it's more than just a video. It's kind of it's more three-dimensional than just a music video. Or,
Yeah.
I suppose it's the same idea as that kind of the scene in the opera where normal objects take on more meaning than they have normally, and that's sort of a feeling that a lot of us have had, I think, maybe over the past few months.
Yeah.
Looking at things, maybe looking at the same room all day long, and eventually, things can take on sort of a different image in a way.
Absolutely. Yeah. Becoming quite consumed by your surroundings and not really knowing how to kind of break out of that.
Yeah, it's frightening in a way. But no, it sounds like quite a kind of interesting parallel.
Yeah. Yeah.
For it.
So thanks, Richard, for chatting to me today. It's been really nice
You're
to
welcome.
talk through the process.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed the video. It's beautiful.
Oh, great.
So congratulations.
Thanks. I'm really looking forward to everyone being able to see it in the next few weeks.